cool. So,
Yeah. Um, so speaking of the cards you've been dealt, you have mentioned that you are experiencing recurrence right now. Um, so could you tell people how your doctors monitor for recurrence? How do you know when you're recurring? And how, on a kind of psychological level, do you manage the uncertainty on a daily basis?
yeah, so for me personally, when I start having symptoms, and like I know my body so well at this point, so if I'm feeling any type of a weird cramp or something's not quite right, I've been right every time I thought I've been having a reoccurrence. If I've ever had the thought, it's there. So now that I have active disease, I have I believe three areas under my rib area here, and then I have a few other ones in my bowel, and so we're monitoring those right now. Um, we are doing CT scans every 6 months just to track the growth and to see kind of what they're doing. And then my type of cancer has a bit of a unique blood work that I get done about every 3 months, and that's as well just to kind of make sure that I'm staying within a baseline. I'm also on a medication called letrozole. And so right now, that, like I mentioned earlier, is hopefully going to keep me at baseline. It has been working to shrink a little bit of what I have under my rib, which is really good. So yeah, that's how we're monitoring me right now. Um, I think that with me and my type of cancer, I've known early on that I would never go into remission. Um, I mean, I can speak kind of candidly about it,
Yeah.
and like but I think it's just because it's a fact, like it's a fact. I know that I'll never be in remission. The time in between my reoccurrences, I was told, will continue getting shorter, and they have continued to get shorter. I'm on my fifth one now, and yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, it's just it's the cards I've been dealt. It's what I have to play, and I refuse to I refuse to throw them in, and so I just keep playing, and um yeah.
So would you be comfortable speaking about what your doctors know about your current prognosis? And do you actually think about um, or have you planned for your death?
Right. So right now, like currently, I have had quite a few surgeries. I've actually lost count. And so because I've had so many, I'm dealing with a lot of scar tissue in my midsection. And so because of that, any type of surgery would be very risky. I know that I likely, they say maybe one or two if I'm lucky. So that kind of puts me at an inoperable standpoint. Radiation is not an option for my type of cancer. And I've maxed myself out at chemotherapies because I've done the type I did twice, and it's actually a pretty harsh type of chemo. So, um, yeah, so I guess with that, they would do surgery when my quality of life becomes affected. So, like right now, I am still able to get on the floor and play with my son. I can still work full time. I can breathe okay, things like that. But if it did get to the point where my quality of life was affected, then we would need to be looking into doing surgery. And then at that point, I think it would be kind of getting close to the end. Right now I feel okay, so I'll take that as a win.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, in regards to my to when my body to when my body surrenders to ovarian cancer, I think it's like I mentioned before, like it's a fact, like I know that it's gonna happen, likely sooner than later. Um, I can tell myself that I'm mentally prepared, but I'm not. Like if I actually think about it, I'm not. Um, I it was easier to think about when I didn't have a 5-year-old.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I for sure have thought about it. I've thought about it. I know that it's going to happen. I kind of have an idea of what it'll look like, but I kind of refuse to get myself like financially ready for that time to come, because I feel like if I do that, then it's kind of putting it out to the universe that I'm ready, and I'm not. So that's it's probably irresponsible of me, but it's kind of where I'm at. And so um yeah, it's hard because I personally I can't picture a world where I'm not with my son. So it's not something that I'm ready to fully deal with or come to terms with, but it's for sure something that I've thought about as a single mom living and navigating this disease. So
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
So speaking of that, that kind of feeds into um, what do you think he understands about all of this?
Um, I used to think that he got it, but he didn't quite get it. But of course, in kindergarten, they learned about Terry Fox, and so then his idea of cancer was Terry Fox had cancer and then he died. So had I known they were going to be learning about that, I feel like I could have maybe had a conversation and briefed him about that not all cancers are the same. He's 5 and he's very smart, so he's figured out that when I'm going to my oncologist, that does have to do with cancer. So I see a lot of emotions when it's coming time for me to go and see my doctor. So I can't even really mention any of that or he gets upset. And um a lot of questions about death. He'll say, like, Mommy, are you dying? Are you going to die? And I think it's important to have age appropriate conversations. So I will tell him, like, I'm not dying right now. Am I going to die? Yes, but everybody's going to die. I don't know when. Um, it's hard though. It's definitely something that's hard to deal with just at that age. Like like I said, he's old enough to get it, but not quite. But then I think that he also knows a lot more than he lets on, and that's easy to see just in his, like his day-to-day kind of questions and what he asks and stuff.
Well, my heart definitely goes out to you as someone who has a 6-year-old son. Um, so I guess one question that could be related to this is what has ovarian cancer taught you? This can be big, small, positive, negative, anywhere you want to go with that.
Um, yeah, I think that when you just said that now, what first came to mind is that, and as cliche as it sounds, like life is so short, like not just for people with cancer, but just for everybody. And so I think that if anything, it's just taught me that you just need to live. Like I went to I went to Vegas in the kind of towards the end of the pandemic. I went to Las Vegas, and like, should I have gone? I don't know. Sorry, should I have gone? Maybe, maybe not. But at the same time, like life is so short. So I think you just have to do things and be safe about it. And so I try to make as many memories with my son as I can. And whether that's just like last summer, we went to every single ice cream shack that is in our city. We hit up
Mhm.
every single splash park. We do things that, I try to do as much as I can and make as many positive memories with him as I can. And part of that is because, again, like life is short, and mostly I want him to have meaningful and positive memories of him and I. Um, yeah. And then the other thing with this disease is like, it's so important to listen to your body. If something is not right, you know, then you need to like listen to that. So like again, like the symptoms of ovarian cancer. So like if you're experiencing changes in your bowel habit, urinary changes, lower back pain, bloating, any of the typical symptoms, like if you're experiencing any of them and they're persisting 2 weeks and they're getting worse, then to see your doctor. I think that that's the most important thing that as well this disease has taught me is just advocating for yourself and
Yeah.
for your body and how important that that is.
So is so that's a great message. Is that what you would want younger women to know, or would you have anything else that you would specifically want younger women to know given what you went through?
Yeah, I think the importance of listening to your
Yeah.
body. I think that that's the one main piece of advice I would give. Even though I am, my age, still a lot of people like when they now at 36, people are still surprised that I have ovarian cancer at my age. Um, I think that it is becoming a disease of younger and younger women. It just in my findings on social media and my advocacy, I'm seeing that it is affecting women that are younger and younger, people that are younger and younger. And so um, just like listening to your body and how important that is and making sure that you're taking care of yourself and seeing your doctor and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say that's all the questions I had for you, unless you want to, um, unless you'd like to share anything else. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for just being so open and willing to talk about anything. And I know this will help someone for sure. Just seeing someone, you could be the person that you were looking for,
Mhm.
right?
That's exactly what I was
That's
gonna say. And like even like with my posting on social media, like I hope that if, someone is in a city where they're in the same situation that I was, they open up TikTok or Instagram and then they see, my face and they can just be like, hey, like I'm not alone. There is somebody else
yeah,
that's gone through this or is going through this. And I think that that's important too, is just to be able to, when you are going through ovarian cancer, just to know that there's a whole community behind you that is supporting you and that is there with you every step of the way.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Starla.
Thanks.